Aloha, good evening fellow wanderers. It's just Jeremiah here, leaving my new apartment. Boy did I have a great day. I got to sleep in and get the proper rest I need. That job at Ilipino, it wasn't quite what I expected. They were very secretive about the money I make, and even went so far as to make me wait several days for my tips, and suggesting that normally I wouldn't get my tips the first week, even though I was by myself as the only busser, which was strange. I got to peek in at the manager's computer and see that it was just like $60 in tips for the night. So I was promised to be able to make comparable money to my job at the eating house just while bussing. And yeah, my last shift at the eating house, I made $250, and this place is like, the servers aren't making $250. So basically I was duped. I'm sure the manager's a really nice guy. I still liked him a lot. The restaurant was beautiful, but I worked 2 days and I let them know it wasn't a proper fit, and that I would really appreciate being able to have access to my tips and the hours that I worked, even though I wasn't able to get clocked in because, yeah, whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure they will, because I am focused on the positive, and so positive things will happen. But I was offered this opportunity to bartend at the Air Park Lounge karaoke bar in Ala Moana. I thought it would be down in Hawaii Kai where the other restaurant was, but it's just like a mile and a half from me. 30-minute walk, if that. Especially at my pace, if that. So after months of being here, wow, the moon is just past new moon. You can't see it. It's just a sliver. God's fingernails, my mom used to call it. God's cuticle. Let's see if I can show you. You can barely see it right there. But yeah, after 3 months of being here, 3 months plus, I finally found a job. Now, I did get hired at Pesca. I haven't contacted them yet. I turned them down for Ilipino, so hopefully I can still get in and explain that I needed to earn the tips to get a house, and that I've been homeless and blah, blah, blah. But we'll see. So I'll hopefully balance Ilipino, or I'm sorry, quit Ilipino. So basically this is gonna be the 4th job that I've worked in the past week. Yeah, I don't like to work, blah, blah, blah. I just want to fly signs and get a freebie out of life. Not. That was just a path I was on for 2 years. Very similar to the monk's path, where you set aside your ego by relying off of people's generosity while begging to travel and see the world and spread a message. That's kind of what Buddhist monks do. So whatever, you can still judge me for it, or I can still get defensive and show that it actually does bother me while acting like it doesn't. Either way, I'm working nonstop, and that bugs more people. Probably the same people that complain about me not working. That's just life. But, oh man, someone's having car trouble. Hopefully they can start it. I'll try to lend them some manifestation. Oh, there it goes. No way, cool. Of course it's me, it's not them. I think it started, then it died. That's what I get for being cocky. Yeah, I get to start this new job, and it's a very busy karaoke bar that caters to locals. It's not so much a tourist spot, and it looks fancy. And I think it's like focused towards the Polynesian and Asian communities. So that's pretty awesome, because I'll get to learn about new stuff and be a part of, you know, new groups of people that I'm not always a part of. And I know it's going to be better than the eating house, because the money was great, but yeah, I'd rather just be happy than make great money. Even better, I'd love to be happy and make great money. Yeah, that's my goal. I'm going to achieve it. This is going to be the spot. I'll work Saturdays here. And I'm blessed because Kylie, who owns the Cafe Asia, which is a shabu shabu restaurant or a hot pot restaurant, depending on which culture you're talking about. You know, she had interviewed me for like an hour and a half, and I decided to take the job, but then I turned it down for Ilipino, which again didn't end up working out. But You know, the reasoning was that I didn't have the opportunity to make as much money as I wanted there. It was $150 to $200 a night, which in Hawaii is not much in the service industry. Whereas at Ilipino, I guess they were saying they make about $150 a night, where like he was happy to have made $190 while it was slow. I'm sure there's an opportunity to make lots, but that's just serving, and who knows when I'd get to serve for real. But yeah, because I turned the job down and had such a good interview with her, she told me that, hey, this bar, she hit me up like yesterday, right when I moved into my new place. When I moved into my new place on the new moon, and she hit me up that same day and said, hey, I'd love you to come work at the bar. And I couldn't manage to train while working the 2 other jobs, and it would take a while to get in. But today, after talking to my good friend Moy, who is at Ilipino, I decided that I would let them know that it wasn't a good fit and come to train. So hopefully I can train tonight and Saturday, and then come back next Saturday on my own and bartend. I think it's a one-man show, if I'm not mistaken, which means I will be the only employee on for the night. So there's a lot of responsibility involved. But as someone that doesn't drink, someone who's on a very good path, I'm a great person to have in there, because I've got 22 years of experience in the industry, at least 6 years of bartending experience. I'm great at memorizing names. I'm even better at memorizing cocktails. I've got like all the mainstream cocktails down, and I don't steal. I earn my own money. Even when panhandling, I didn't lie, I just wanted weed. Yeah, deal with it. And then, yeah, I don't drink, so it's not like I'm gonna be like drinking and lowering my inhibitions or lowering my capacity to work as hard as I can. You know, if I was a owner of a restaurant, I would definitely want me on any of the higher positions I could find. So even though I've told her all these things, words are wind. You know, I can't tell her, I have to show her. So basically, she said most people that come into work, the first day of training, they realize that they're not a good fit. The restaurant realizes, and they don't have to come back for a second training session. So I get to have my first training session today from 7:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then hopefully I'll be going back Saturday. I know I'll be going back for a second shift, because why wouldn't they love me? Look at me. Oh man, I'm so lovable. And then I'll be on my own bartending there. I'll make enough, you know, in like 2 shifts there, you know, back to back, you know, one Saturday, then the next Saturday, to pay my rent, at least. I'm sure I'll make $350 a night there, at least. And she suggested, like, basically only the very high-end, top-tier restaurant workers can ever survive there. And not only have I always been that, but being completely sober has left me feeling so incredibly invigorated, driven, balanced, and capable. Feeling confident in how my shift is going to go tonight. And although there will be hurdles and not roadblocks, there will be challenges to overcome, they're only going to make me stronger. I'm going to stop and buy an energy drink quick. I don't do that usually, but yeah, I want to go in and be even more than I usually am. So I'm going to grab the energy drink. I love you guys. Peace out. Short video today, but lots more coming. See ya. I'm loving this chance to get to explore a new walk to work. These trees are so cool, and look at this fountain. Hello. Beautiful. Just like in Denver, they've got bidets down here as well for the homeless people. I know I needed to wash my ass for a couple of weeks just recently, so it's funny I only found this once I'm good to go in that department, but if anything ever happens, at least I know now. So cool. The parks down here are neat. I like being closer to downtown. I'm only about a 10-minute walk, 20-minute walk farther than I was to Waikiki. But again, now that I'm like, no, I'm not. Thank you though. Some locals asking me if I'm a cop. I definitely don't look like a cop, especially with my beard. But yeah, so I'm so excited. And yeah, Ala Moana. I get a job closer to my new apartment than my other jobs were to my last apartment. And for that, I feel truly blessed. All right, that went really well. Oh my gosh. So there's Cherie, and she's the excellent bartender who was so patient with my high energy levels and how fast I speak and how much I talk and the weird topics I have. And I just basically didn't do the thing I normally do, which is basically just dumb myself down and then try to just keep it to mundane topics and not talk much. I was just fully myself. And what helped me a lot was a gentleman named Jerry, who is the manager of the restaurant down below. It's called Ichi something. And this guy is like fucking point on. He's like, oh, I don't know much. But then every single topic I touched on, he knew. And from like, yeah, he's basically heavy into all of the stuff I am that I still have yet to start talking to you about. And he's talking about having a podcast and how he's going to be on Joe Rogan. And you may not realize, but that's something that I'm going to do. I'm going to go on Joe Rogan someday. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that because that's how you have to manifest. You can't say, I want to go on Joe Rogan. Like, I am starting to do these podcasts, and I'm basically going to be like a new age whistleblower, which is going to piss a lot of people off. But yeah, I'm going to go, and he also is going to go on Joe Rogan. And so what we're going to do, and not what we want to do, is we're each going to start our own podcast. We're going to find about maybe 10 people total. We're each going to start our podcast, but create our own media conglomerate on YouTube and other platforms. And we're going to basically toss our viewers to each other, so we each have our own flavor. And then we're going to like pay someone to create a jingle that goes between us all, to write it and vocalize it, a singer and songwriter, and potentially even pay and split the cost of like video editors. And we're each going to start creating our own individual podcasts, maybe even leaning towards, some of us towards the critical conjecture idea that I had come up with, which is a rebranding of conspiracy theory, because conspiracy theory has negative connotations, but critical thinking and conjecture together have, conspiracy theory has negative connotations, whereas critical conjecture has positive connotations. And so Jerry is so smart, and he has a huge network here, and he wants to be my friend, and that's amazing because I really don't have many friends here, and we're basically going to make big things happen. And so I'm going to start at least one, if not two, side channels on my YouTube, so that my journey, just Jeremiah's journey, doesn't have to delve too much into the dark topics. It can just be my light version, and you know what's going on in my life and how I feel, and talking about like Hawaiian lore and history and travel and all that stuff. You know, it'll include my freediving and my business endeavors and all that. But then these darker topics that maybe scare some of you or make you think I'm crazy, you don't have to hear on my Just Jeremiah's Journey. You'll hear on the Critical Conjecture channel. And he has an idea for a name and branding, and we're basically going to, yeah, create a media production company. And he is going to be a stand-up comedian, own several restaurants, do a podcast. I'm going to do my freelance underwater photography, work towards business consultancy, and do my YouTube and podcast. So it was amazing getting to meet someone like Jerry, who's the literal mascot of Air Park, because he has such good networking skills, and he's so smart and articulate and humble and just funny. And he's known as Legend Jerry. That's how humble he is outside of Air Park. So I have to make sure not to call him Jerry. It's Legend Jerry. And I cannot wait, because he will probably be my first interview on my new channel, which I will be starting maybe within the week, which I will do live streaming interviews, some in person and others across the world. So I will start touching on topics that are maybe too dark or too light for you, but topics that I feel need to be spoken of. And I won't mention them here, because this will be the point where all of those weird things that might scare you will splinter off from this channel, and only those other awesome things which I'm interested in, and you might be, they will be on this separate channel, which I will create. So I have to work on the proper branding and come up with the right thumbnail. And, you know, pretty soon, once I start making the right money, I will have royalties that I can pay for music and have music. And the main thing I have to figure out is how to keep only the right people with their hands in the pie and the cookie jar, because it's not about money so much as it is about not wanting the powers that be to subvert my goals and aims. So I have to do it myself without backing, and I believe in it, and I believe in Jerry, and we believe in each other, and I've got several other people that are interested. And rather than creating one giant YouTube channel together, we'll each have our own flavor, and we'll have other platforms as well, which I kind of want to avoid TikTok for some reasons, which I don't need to go on about here. So yeah, big moves. The bartending gig went great. I'll have my second day of training, hopefully Saturday, because that's the shift that I'll be working. And then the following Saturday, I should be on my own there. And, you know, we'll see. It was a little slow tonight. It's not like the money was amazing that I know of, but who knows? But weekends seem like they will be, and it's going to be fast-paced and locals, so I'll be doing lots of networking. And when I combine, hopefully, Pesca, which is half owned by a famous chef named Wolfgang, who owns Wolfgang's here in Honolulu, which was actually part of, it's his brother that owns it. So Pesca is owned by Wolfgang's brother and a Japanese corporation that focuses on weddings. So once Japan opens back up and we have the busiest summer of sales ever in Hawaii, which is this summer, which will definitely happen, I'll be making mad money towards my business plans, so that I'll be doing Sky, Waikiki. I'll be photographing people, having a card while I'm waiting tables, and then marketing my underwater media company, and that specializes in photography, underwater female photography, and underwater weddings. So I'll be marketing that through Sky, through taking my photos. Up at Pesca, they're actually a wedding corporation company out of Japan, which is huge, again, in the wedding capital of the world. And then here at Air Park, I will be networking with locals to further build my influence and have a solid ground to set my foot on, so that I'm building up the local community and part of it, instead of just some outsider, which I am, but who knows, maybe I won't be once I meet the right people like Jerry and his network. So everything is falling into place. I'm headed back to my apartment. It's 11 p.m. on the 3rd of March 2022, and life is good. Thanks so much for watching.